And we back. Welcome back to another great episode of the Get Buckets podcast, powered by Hardwood Aim Basketball. I'm your host, Musa Marathi. It's finally here. The ninth grade rankings that are kind of overdue at this point. I've been a little busy the past couple of days with all these Christmas games I've been having personally, but it's here nonetheless. And I'm starting off with ninth grade today. So basically, I'll just be going through my top 10 freshmen who I believe are in the top 10 in Greenville County alone. This will be in Greenville County. And yeah, let's just jump straight into it. So I have one honorable mention, and that's Keyshawn McCoy from JL High School. Keyshawn plays with the Celtics around in AAU time, and I've seen him for the past couple of years. Can shoot the ball really well for freshman. I watched him play against Greenville actually this year, and he did solid. I wanted to put him in the list, but I didn't know where to put him if I was to put him in the list. So I have him in this honorable mention place. And I mean, that's not bad though. He is playing varsity as a freshman at JL and great things to come for him in the future. So good luck to him in his future at JL High School or wherever he ends up. And now, number 10, Alvarez Smith from Malden High School. Alvarez, another one from the Carolina Celtics. This team has a lot of talent. Alvarez actually goes to Malden High School, is also on varsity, of course, and just possesses a lot of talent. He's like a smaller big, I believe, for their team. Haven't gotten to watch Malden this year. I will be at a game eventually. So I, went by the numbers. I looked at the stats. It was a tough call. I saw, a lot of the freshmen, obviously, they don't average too much, but Alvarez averaging about 4.5 and about like 2 rebounds, I believe. And, he isn't super tall, but at the same time, he is kind of like their big man, quote unquote, big man. And he just brings a lot of energy and is solid, definitely for a freshman, can score the ball and just has a lot of energy for their big guy spot. Number 9, though, Christopher or CJ Durham from GTC or Greenville Tech Charter. CJ, brother to Derek Durham. I've also seen him grow up I've seen him around here for a while, man. Plays with Team SC or Team South Carolina. A guard, smaller guard, but can handle. He's fast, has good speed, and just also brings a lot of energy to the table. Decent shooter, but I think his best play. What I've heard. I had Kalen Fluker on here not too long ago, and he actually was at the GTC versus Brazier game, and he talked about how CJ's defense is his main point and the speed and passes. He's best when he's going to the rim. When CJ's going to the rim, that's when he's scoring the ball much better than shooting. Once he gets the shooting down, though, he's going to be a solid player. But for now, he is at the number 9 spot. Number 8 on my freshman list, I have Franklin Whitley, another guy from JL High School. JL has some young talent. A big man actually, probably 6'6" at this point. Franklin grew, man. I remember when he went to Fisher Middle because he was on the same team with my boy Houston, who I had on here not too long ago as well. And I saw some sparks. I always thought I didn't know if he had the motivation though. I didn't know. I thought he was a little bit lazy back in the day. I'm wrong though. I think he's definitely the skill is coming up now. He started in the game against Greenville, and I talked about how he might have just not had the strength against some of those Greenville bigs such as Ramon, but nonetheless, I mean he has the talent is getting there, and I did see him play a little bit even in the fall league at Upward, and his potential is unmatched. 6'6" big man, only a freshman on a varsity team. Like honestly, I can't wait to see how the rest of his career goes. So best of luck to Franklin, man. You've definitely gotten a lot better since the Fisher days for sure. Number 7, our first Greenville player, I have Arquise White. Arquise, left-handed, just dog all around, Plays for Team South Carolina as well. And I like once again when we were talking on here, me and Houston, he didn't even know his place. He didn't know if he was going to be on JV or varsity, and he has been excelling, just bringing energy and bringing excitement to the Greenville lineup when he gets subbed into the game. He is also one of those guys who is best when he's attacking the rim, full attack mode, and he just has a nag for the game. He always wants to win. Is a competitor. He can shoot a little bit but once he gets that shot down 100%, so once again is going to help. Not a super big guard, and I wouldn't even. But honestly, that does not. It doesn't really matter. He still gets to the rim really well, and him being a lefty makes it harder to guard him. So I had to put him at 7. His team is 8-0. He's helping in this. He's a part of this. He does play. So I had to put Arquise White at number 7. Number 6, I actually have his teammate from Greenville, Cam Smith, the absolute pest on defense. Once again, just an absolute dog for them when he comes into the game. Like I've said, he reminds me a lot of Eli Allen, their senior guard from last year. He leads the team in taking charges. That's why I had him right above Arquise, just because he is getting some press based off of his defense, and so even some he has been doing better at scoring the ball. But yes, I've known Cam forever, man, since the Bond One days. He always shows so much emotion on the court, which is always fun to see, especially at such a young age. Plays with Georgia Stars, or he did this past season in AAU, and he's definitely been getting better. I didn't really get to see him when he was at Berea Middle, but it's good to see him progress at Greenville High and make varsity as once again not a very big guard, but he definitely makes his presence known when he's on the court. So I had to put him at 6. Now number 5 was a tricky one because it kind of came down to the record of the team. And this might be a hot one, but number 5 is Mikey Williams from Riverside High School. Mikey Williams, I know the name itself is a big name. Mikey, obviously, he played with who is it? The Kings all throughout middle school, and was just looked at as one of the best players in the area as a middle schooler. And he also is one of those guys who's great at getting to the cup. Can shoot, even he can shoot pretty well. And also I've actually contacted his teammate Rylan over the past couple of days and just asked how he's been doing. And I've heard he has some good spurts in scoring and all that, and it's good to see. I wish Riverside. I mean, I know Julian's out and all, but I know they've been struggling a little bit. They are getting it up to par a little bit more now, and I can't put this all on Mikey. He is a freshman, but to put him at 5 was a lot on record. And Riverside, I can't find their stats, so I also couldn't really look at how much he was averaging. But even him being at 5, I've seen Mikey. He is another dog out here in the freshman class, and he's gonna attack. He's always in attack mode. He's smart. I know he's playing a lot of minutes for them, and that's amazing to see as a freshman. So, I only see him getting better, man. So best of luck to Mikey Williams out of Riverside High School. Number 4, I have Aiden McDowell from Fountain Inn High School. I actually played Aiden McDowell this year, and I know he also plays with the Carolina Celtics, I believe. So, all those Carolina Celtics guys, man, they're good players, man. They're definitely good players. Aiden's actually like a special player because he's tall. He's probably like 6'3", 6'4" as a freshman, but he can handle the ball too. He's not a big exactly. Like when we played him, he can finish around the rim, but he can also shoot, and he has a huge role. And really, like I believe he was the only freshman on Fountain Inn, and he has a huge role for the team. So that's why I put him right ahead of Mikey, just because of the role that he's having. And Fountain Inn has been doing quite well this season. I believe they're still over 500 or right about 500, and he plays a large part in this. So I had to put Aiden McDowell here. I think he's gonna do great things if he stays at Fountain Inn, or regardless of where he goes. He's an integral part of the system over there at Fountain Inn. So best of luck to him and the Fountain Inn squad over there. Number 3. Now we're reaching our top, who I believe the top 3 players are at the moment in Greenville County. Number 3, I have Jaden Williams from Berea High School. Now, this was a tough pick because Jaden coming out of, I believe he was at League last year, if I'm not wrong. I believe he was at League Academy and was voted like he was one of the best middle schoolers around. And it's kind of tough because Jaden was like a small forward, I believe, last year. And they have him playing. He doesn't really play the post on offense, but he is guarding every guy's center. Like when I went to watch them play TR, he was guarding Drew McKibben, who's like 6'5" and very athletic. And like I said in that video, he held his own, and he's just a solid player all around. Like he's a lefty too, I believe. So that also probably makes it harder to guard him. He can finish at the rim. I believe he can shoot a little. He doesn't really shoot a lot because they have so many guards like Kingston and Jaleel, AJ, and all them. But just a solid player and isn't afraid. When he goes against these bigger guys, he's not afraid. I know Berea's been struggling a little bit the past couple of games, but nonetheless, he's been a part of that, keeping them over 500. This year they've been doing quite well for the team that they have. To only have like one senior on the team and start all sophomores and him as a freshman, they're doing great, and he's a big part of that, man. He's averaging about 8.5 to 8.9 a game, and definitely grabbing probably one of the most rebounds for their team, or the most rebounds for their team as the freshman of their squad. Going to number 2, though, I have Nate Wilburn out of Malden High School, another Malden guy. You know, I used to watch Nate a lot back in the day. He used to play for the Upstate Warriors, but then I haven't seen him play in a couple years. But I heard the hype. Believe me, I heard the hype going into around the fall time. I heard this guy named Nate. It took me a minute to process who they were talking about, but once I realized who they were talking about, I was like, oh, okay, is he that nice? And based off the numbers, he's averaging about 8 to 9 a game, and he is like their second leading scorer as a sophomore, right behind Braden Hirschberger, and that's just great to see. I thought Jaden was gonna be there this year, but I believe Jaden actually doesn't even live in the area anymore out of Malden, so that opened up the spot for Nate to just take it, and I believe he has been. Malden, they're holding a solid record. I didn't know how well they would do without guys like Caleb Mills and all that. And they're doing solid, and this has to do a lot with Nate and what he has been doing. He can handle the ball, shoot, get to the cup. And his dad, I believe his dad played major D1 basketball and is extremely tall. So, you know, Nate, he's already a tall guy. He's probably he's I haven't seen him in a few years, but he has to be like 6'3". I'm guessing. I'm just assuming here. He has to be quite tall. Probably not super like strong yet, but man, strength can come later. This guy has skill for sure in the ninth grade area. In the ninth grade, and that's why I had to put him at 2. He carries a big load for their team, and just as a freshman. And this is 5A basketball we're talking about. The biggest A in South Carolina. So shout out to Nate Wilburn. I expect great things from him in the future and even now. So good luck to Nate and Malden Mavericks for the rest of their season. And now for the number 1 player in what I believe the freshman class, I have Caden Coleman out of Hillcrest High School. Caden actually got all tournament, all tournament, I believe, at the Thanksgiving tournament back at Hillcrest, him and Kamari Spurgeon. So, he's been playing well, man, and he has athleticism. He can shoot when he's open. He can attack the basket, of course, and he can defend. So, I didn't know why I shouldn't put him here. They didn't have their stats on Hillcrest, so I couldn't exactly see how much he was averaging, but he plays a lot, and I definitely can see him averaging a good amount and just carrying the load, maybe guarding the team's best player. and he's a solid talent, man. He also plays on, or at least he did last year, played on the Carolina Celtics. So that just goes to show how much talent that Celtics team had and how much talent uh, they possessed. But yeah, Caden, man, a real dog for Hillcrest, and that's probably why they're having the record they have right now. You know, I saw that the other day that they although they did lose to Moravian Prep, the prep school where Eli Allen went to, or yeah, that is the name, right? Isaac Allen and Eli, or Eli Ellis. I'm sorry, Eli Ellis and Isaac Ellis went to, but they did lose to that team. But nonetheless, they came back this past week, beat Boiling Springs by 30, and I know they got guys like Izzy and Chavis and all that, but this Caden also has a big part to do with these wins, and you know, big shout out to Caden at Hillcrest for what he's doing, and best of luck to him in his future, man. The time is now for him. It seems like so. Go out and make his name. Go out and make your name heard. But that will conclude this video. Hope everyone is having a great winter break. This should be out by Christmas Eve. Hold me to that. But nonetheless, that will conclude this episode of the Get Buckets podcast. And thank you, and have a good one. Peace.